Today, I want to dive into a fascinating shift we've seen in Donald Trump's campaign over the last month. Not too long ago, specifically on September 14, 2024, Trump was in a precarious position. His poll numbers were low, and many analysts and commentators were beginning to suggest that his campaign was floundering as we neared the final stretch before the election. There was a palpable sense of concern about whether he could realistically mount a comeback and reclaim the presidency. However, if we look at where things stand now, it's a completely different story. Trump has not only regained momentum, but has also taken the lead in the race. This remarkable turnaround has taken many by surprise and has altered the political landscape in ways that were not anticipated just weeks ago. So, what has contributed to Trump's transformation from a candidate facing significant hurdles to one who is now the frontrunner in the upcoming November election? That's what we'll explore in detail today, unpacking the various factors that have played a role in this shift and examining how Trump has managed to reclaim his position as a leading contender. To fully understand this turnaround, we need to analyze two key electoral maps, one from September 14 and another from today. These maps provide insight into how Trump and his opponent, Kamala Harris, are projected to perform in different states, highlighting those that are considered solid and likely for either candidate. The solid, safe states tend not to shift much from election to election, so we won't focus too much on them. Instead, our attention will be on the battleground states where we've seen the most pronounced shifts in polling and voter sentiment. These competitive areas are where the real stakes lie, as they can ultimately determine the outcome of the election, and it's within these regions that we've witnessed Trump's resurgence most clearly. Let's begin with Nevada, a state that has historically leaned Democratic but is showing signs of shifting toward Trump. Recent polling indicates that Trump now has a narrow lead in Nevada, sitting at just a 0.2 advantage over Harris. While this margin might seem small, it marks a significant change from the 5.2 lead that Joe Biden enjoyed in the state during the 2020 election, where he ultimately won by a margin of 2.4. The fact that Trump has managed to close that gap, indeed even pull ahead, is noteworthy. Just a month ago, Harris had a slight lead of 1.2 in Nevada, which was categorized as tilt blue, signifying it was expected to lean Democratic, albeit narrowly. However, with Trump's recent momentum, there's a strong possibility that Nevada could flip red for the first time since George W. Bush's victory there in 2004. Winning Nevada would be a significant blow to Harris's campaign and would provide a major boost to Trump's overall strategy for victory. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Next, we should take a look at Arizona, another state that is crucial in the electoral landscape. Arizona has been a hotly contested state in recent elections and is emerging as a key battleground once again. Currently, Trump holds a 1 lead in Arizona, but some polls suggest that his advantage might be even larger. A recent survey conducted by the New York Times indicated that Trump is leading by as much as 5 points. This is particularly striking, considering that Biden won Arizona by a razor-thin margin of just 0.31 2020. Trump's current lead signals a notable shift in voter sentiment in a state that has increasingly been viewed as a Democratic stronghold. Back in September, he had a slim 1.3 lead, indicating early signs of his potential resurgence. Although Harris initially gained some ground following the Democratic National Convention, Trump quickly regained his footing and is now appearing to consolidate his lead. If he can maintain this momentum, it looks highly likely that Arizona will swing back in his favor. Crucial win that could have significant implications for the overall election outcome. Let's also consider New Mexico, which, while still leaning toward Harris, is starting to show signs of vulnerability for her campaign. A month ago, Harris had a commanding 10-point lead in New Mexico, but that advantage has now dwindled to 8. As she remains in a relatively strong position, this narrowing margin is noteworthy and reflects a broader trend of Hispanic voters, an essential demographic in New Mexico, beginning to shift toward the Republican side. Although it's unlikely that Harris is in immediate danger of losing New Mexico, the reduction in her lead suggests that the state may become more competitive than it has been in recent elections. Currently classified as likely blue, if these trends continue, New Mexico could transform into a battleground state in the not-so-distant future. Now, let's shift our focus to Texas, a state that has long been in a Republican stronghold. Trump currently enjoys a solid 5.7 lead there, which is up from a 4.7 lead just a month ago. In the 2016 election, Trump won Texas by a comfortable 9 points, and in 2020, his margin decreased to 5 points. Current polling indicates that Trump may be regaining ground, and if these trends persist, he could potentially secure a victory in Texas by a substantial margin. Although there were some predictions that Texas might become more competitive for Democrats, it appears that Trump is solidifying his hold on the state, which is crucial for his overall election strategy. At this moment, Texas is classified as lean red, but there's a strong possibility it could shift into the solid red category as we approach Election Day. Turning our attention to the Midwest, we can see that Harris's position is becoming increasingly shaky. A month ago, she seemed to be in a strong position in critical states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. However, recent trends indicate that Trump is gaining ground in these key battlegrounds. Let's start with Minnesota, which is the home state of Harris's running mate, Governor Tim Walz. While she still holds a lead in Minnesota, it has narrowed from 6.5 to 4.7. Although she remains favored to win, this decline in her lead is concerning. In 2020, Biden won Minnesota by about 7 points. So a continued decrease in Harris's lead could signal a tightening race in a state that Democrats absolutely cannot afford to lose. For the time being, Minnesota is classified as lean blue, but if this trend continues, it could pose a significant challenge for Harris's campaign. The situation in Wisconsin is even more dramatic. Currently, Harris holds a slim 0.3 lead in Wisconsin, down from her previous 1.2 advantage. This trend demonstrates that Trump is rapidly closing the gap, and Wisconsin is historically one of the most crucial battleground states. If Trump manages to take the lead here, it could spell disaster for Harris, especially given the critical role Wisconsin plays in the Democrats' Midwest strategy. Right now, Wisconsin is classified as tilt blue, but there's a real chance it could flip to tilt red. As we move closer to Election Day, Michigan presents one of the most surprising developments in recent weeks. In 2020, Biden won Michigan, establishing it as a blue stronghold with a nearly 3-point margin. Today, Trump has taken a narrow lead, sitting ahead by almost 1. This marks a dramatic turnaround from a month ago when Harris was leading by 0.7. Michigan has shifted from being classified as tilt blue to tilt red, and if Trump manages to maintain this lead, it could significantly weaken Harris's electoral prospects. Finally, let's briefly examine Pennsylvania, a state that has long been a key battleground in presidential elections. Currently, Trump holds a slight 0.5 lead over Harris in Pennsylvania, a shift from Harris's earlier 1.3 advantage just a month ago. Pennsylvania is critical for both candidates, and if Trump continues to strengthen his position here, it could dramatically alter the entire dynamics of the election. When we take a step back and assess the national landscape, the changes over the past month are striking. On September 14, Harris was projected to secure victory with 276 electoral votes. Fast forward to now, and Trump is leading with 302 electoral votes, clearly positioning him as the frontrunner. This transformation indicates that Trump has transitioned his campaign from trailing to leading in just a matter of weeks. If this momentum continues, we may see even more states swing into Trump's column as we approach Election Day. As it stands, Trump's path to victory appears stronger than ever. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found this analysis engaging and want to keep up with the latest developments in the election, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live updates and commentary as we get closer to Election Day. The link is in the description below. Stay tuned for more insightful content, and I'll catch you in the next video.